An exciting morning to return on your screen to look at the latest development emanating from the exciting world of sports. It is Sports Central, and I am Mutabe David. Returning a day after we saw the Super Falcons of Nigeria losing their first game of the 2026 Women Africa Cup of Nations to debutant Malawi, and there have been serious questions raised as regards the quality of the national team of the women's segment, and of course conversations have also evolved around whether or not Nigeria have got the quality under the tutelage of coach Justin Madugu to defend the title they won last time and make it their 11th time winning the competition. The most successful side in the history of the WAFCON, faltering their lines against the debutants. We'll also look at conversations surrounding other teams who were also playing yesterday in the ongoing Women Africa Cup of Nations. Some matches are expected later today. We'll take a look at all of that. We'll also look at other sports. The Commonwealth Games 2026 still bubbling with Team Nigerian athletes doing really well, amassing some medals to the one that has already, of course, been announced at the start of this particular competition. We'll take a look at the world of transfers as well. Players are moving left, right, and center, and it looks like Chelsea, arguably one of the biggest, sides in the world of transfers in the last 10 hours. We'll look at all of these extensively on the show this beautiful morning. But before we have the guys join the conversation, let's first of all take you through some of the big headlines making rounds in the exciting world of sports. Welcome once again to the show. But the conversation starts from home where Nigeria's Kehinde Ajayi and Temitope Adesina claimed bronze medals in the men's 100-meter and women's high jump respectively at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow on Tuesday. Both national record holders delivered podium finish for Team Nigeria, with Ajayi clocking 9.90 seconds in the men's 100-meter final, while Adesina cleared 1.90 meter to finish third in the women's high jump. Ajayi, who's 21 years of age, had entered the final as one of the favorites after winning his semi-final in an impressive 9.94 seconds and was aiming to hand Nigeria his first athletics gold of the Games. However, African champion Emmanuel Eseme of Cameroon powered to victory in a Games record of 9.83 seconds, while Australia's Lanchan Kennedy claimed silver in a personal best and Oceanian record of 9.85 seconds. Adesina also lived up to expectations in the women's high jump, producing a best clearance of 1.90 meter to secure the bronze medal in a highly competitive field. The Nigerian record holder, who enjoyed an outstanding collegiate season in the United States, added a Commonwealth medal to her green list of achievements after qualifying comfortably for the final. Away from that, Nigeria and Egypt have booked their places at the 2026 ITTF World Youth Championships in Istanbul, Turkey, after emerging victorious in the team events of the Africa Youth Championships held in Accra. Egypt's under-15 boys and girls teams, along its under-19 girls squad, will represent the continent at the global tournament scheduled for November 21 to 28. Nigeria's under-19 boys team will also fly Africa's flag, completing the continent's representation at the prestigious event. Reflecting on the standard of play in Accra and the quality of teams heading to Turkey, ITTF Africa Deputy President Alfred Bouwaka expressed satisfaction with the growing competitiveness of the championship. Looking ahead to the World Youth Championships, Bouwaka acknowledged the progress but stressed the need for African players to rise further on the global stage. Away from that to the world of tennis, where Rafael Jorda's breakthrough season is showing no signs of slowing down, competing for the fourth time since Wimbledon. The 19-year-old Spaniard advanced to the second round of the Mubadala DC Open in Washington on Tuesday, when he defeated 22-year-old Arthur Fields 7-6, 6-3 in a clash between two of the hottest young players on tour. Jorda is making his debut in Washington but played college tennis at the University of Virginia, with just a 3-hour drive from where the ATP 500 event is held. In the hot conditions, Jorda played with great intensity and sealed victory when world number 22 Arthur Fields mixed-hit a forehand. The 19-year-old Jorda is competing at number 24 at the ATP rankings this week, having started the season outside the top 100. Jorda lifted his first tour-level trophy on clay in Marrakech in April and advanced to the quarterfinals at Roland Garros. His best result on hard court in 2026 was a third-round run from qualifying at the ATP Masters 1000 event in Miami. Jorda is now level with Fields at 1-1 in the Pace head-to-head series and will next meet Kei Nishikori. Still talking tennis, but this time around in the WTA scene, where world number 19 Ekaterina Alexandrova collapsed on court and had to retire from her first round match at the Memphis Classic due to high temperatures. Russian Alexandrova, who was the number 1 seed, was trailing 7-6, 4-6, 5-4 against 16-year-old compatriot Kristina Lutova in a match where temperatures reached 34 degrees Celsius. The match was initially paused as Alexandrova tried to continue before she received a time violation as she took too long to serve amid her struggles. But in the middle of the next point, Alexandrova fell to the ground and needed immediate medical attention. The 31-year-old was well enough to stand but had to forfeit the match, which had lasted more than 3 hours. It gave Lutova a victory in her debut match on the WTA Tour, but the teenager was left in tears on court amid the chaotic situation. And now to the exciting world of football, where debutants Malawi announced their arrival at the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in a stunning fashion on Tuesday, defeating defending champions Nigeria 3-2 in a thrilling Group C encounter in Rabat. The Scorchers owed their famous victory to sisters Temwa and Tabitha Chawinga, who struck twice and once respectively to hand the record 10-time champions a shock opening day defeat. After a tightly contested first half, Temwa broke the deadlock in the 73rd minute, timing her run perfectly to beat the offside trap before slotting into an empty net past Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie. Just 6 minutes later, younger sister Tabitha Chawinga doubled Malawi's advantage, raising onto a swift counter-attack before beating both the Nigerian defense and Nadozie to make it 2-0. Nigeria responded through captain Rashidat Ajibade, who converted from the penalty spot to reduce the deficit and revive hopes of a comeback. However, Temwa struck again deep into stoppage time, brilliantly lopping Nadozie from distance after spotting the goalkeeper off her line to restore Malawi's 2-goal cushion. Substitute Uchenna Kanu scored late for the Super Falcons, but it proved only a consolation as Malawi held on for a memorable 3-2 victory. The result marks one of the biggest upsets in WAFCON history, with the tournament debutants defeating the competition's most successful nation in their first ever appearance. Well, we'll take a very short breather right here. When we return, on the flip side, we'll be having extensive conversations with the guys also joining the show. Do stay with us.
Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.